آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله والبعث بعد الموت لا إله إلا الله.
Long time ago in Darul Deoband, a student was studying from Afghanistan, and he happened to die due to some illness, and they buried him over there. They informed the family, and the family came over, and they were really grieved. They stayed for a few days in Deoband, and then they said that we want to dig him up and take his body back to our place. So Hazrat Qari Muhammad Tayyib Saheb Rahmatullahi Alayhi was the principal at that time, and he said, it's better if you don't do that, because you shouldn't. He's been buried, his body must have decayed, many days have passed, and in the hot climates it happens very quickly. So, he said it's more good to open him up. They took some fatwas from here and there. However, the family were insisting, no, we want to take him no matter what happens, in whatever state he is in. And the authorities, the ulama were helpless. So they said, okay, it's up to you. We have told you the masla, we can't force you. So they dig up the grave. When they dig up the grave of that student, there is special khushbu of musk coming out of the grave. Musk. And the body is intact as if it was buried just yesterday. Same, nothing wrong with the body. No, the soil had not eaten up the body of the student. And everybody was amazed. They dig the body and they take it from here to maybe some railway station, and then from there. And then they take it first to Karachi, and from there they were going to transport to their area. Now at that time, on the Karachi station, another body also came. This was of someone who went to study somewhere in a foreign western country, and he was studying the worldly knowledge, whatever dunyavi knowledge. Now this young man had died over there, and immediately his body was being transferred. Now both the bodies coincided over here. However, the difference was the body of that student had stench and smell coming out of it, and over here there was musk coming out of it. This is what this hadith says, that Musa alayhi salam was told that, oh Musa, when a student of ilm dies, or a teacher of ilm, an alim dies, I place special nur in their qabrs, so they don't feel any wahshat and ghabrahat and loneliness in their qabrs. There you see the benefit of ilm and knowledge. This is why, we should always keep on studying. Even when we get old, we should not stop studying. We should always have our books with us, keep studying, don't give up studying. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullahi alayhi in his old age was running around with his bag of books and his inkpot and his pen with his young students. So someone said, Hazrat, how long are you going to keep running around with these students? And he replied, Ma'al mihbarah ila al-maqbarah. With the inkpot to the graveyard. This inkpot will remain with me until I go to the qabr. People narrate the hadith over here, utlubul ilma min al-mahdi ila al-lahdi. The hadith might not be proven, however the meaning is right. That from cradle to grave, knowledge should be sought. I should always I also think of myself as a talib ilm, as a student. I don't think myself as an alim. I'm still studying. I always keep studying. And the Prophet ﷺ told us this, لَنْ يَشْبَعَ الْمُؤْمِنُ مِنْ خَيْرٍ يَسْمَعُهُ حَتَّى يَكُونَ مُنْتَهَاهُ الْجَنَّةِ. A mu'min should never be satiated from knowledge which he hears until his final destination is Jannah. Wherever you can get some good things, learn and study from them. الْحِكْمَةُ ضَالَّةُ الْمُؤْمِنِ اتَّخَذَهَا حَيْثُمَا وَجَدَهَا. Wisdom is the lost property of a Muslim. Wherever he can find that lost property, he should take it. So, these are some of the benefits of knowledge. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned great virtues for those studying. I will just mention one hadith in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إن الملائكة لتضع أجنحتها لطالب العلم رضا بما يصنع. When a person goes out to seek knowledge, the angels spread their wings for that talib ilm. What is the meaning of spreading wings? Three meanings are mentioned. Number one, in reality, literally, the malaika feel pride in spreading their wings so that the talib ilm can walk on it. Like when a special person comes, they spread red carpet out for him. President, so red carpet. So similarly, the angels say, this is your red carpet, walk on our wings. Literally, they humble themselves and they allow the student to walk on their wings. Number two, the second meaning is التواضع لهم تعظيما لهم. That the malaika, angels who are busy in glorifying and praising Allah, they show humbleness and humility in front of the students. They make dua for the student. They make dua, Allah open his mind, give him knowledge, let him understand his kitab, help him to memorize his Quran, and support him, give him, open his mind. They make dua for the student and they feel proud in making dua for the student. So they humble themselves in front of the students. Like Quran said, وَخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الظُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. That spread the wings of humility in front of your parents. Respect your parents. So spreading the wings of humility means show humbleness and humility to them. So the malaika spread the wings, meaning they show humbleness and humility, and they feel nice when seeing a student and staying in his company, and they make dua for the student. And this is why in the following words, Prophet ﷺ said, when few people gather in the house of Allah and يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَيَتَدَارَسُونَهُ بَيْنَهُم, they recite the book of Allah and teach one another, then حَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. The malaika come quickly rushing and they gather. They call others as well. Come. There is a gathering of ilm over here. And they all surround that gathering and they all sit in that lesson and listen to the lesson which is being delivered. وَغَشِيَتْهُمُ الرَّحْمَةِ. And rahmah, mercy, is showered upon them. وَنَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةِ. Special sakina and tranquility is sent down into their hearts. وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَنْ عِنْدَهُ. And Allah talks about them to the angels who are holding on to the throne of Allah. Look at my servants, they are studying my deen, they are reciting my kitab, they are reciting the Quran tarjama, they are reading the hadith, and they are busy in the fiqh, they are learning my deen. Allah is extremely happy with them. So, this is the meaning of التواضع لهم تعظيما لهم. And the third meaning is said to be النزول عند مجالس العلم وترك الطيران. When they see some majlis of ilm, they come down and they stop flying. So وَضْعُ الْأَجْنِحَةِ means stop flying. So when they see some majlis, they stop flying and they come and they attend that majlis of gathering. So this is some hadith. Another hadith mentions with regards to the virtues of studying. مَنْ سَلَكَ طَرِيقًا يَلْتَمِسُ فِيهِ عِلْمًا سَهَّلَ اللَّهُ لَهُ بِهِ طَرِيقًا إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. If you take a path to acquire knowledge, Allah eases the path of Jannat for you. Easing the path of Jannat has two meanings. Number one, that because you are studying ilm, then you will put it into practice, and inshallah your practice will take you to Jannah. So by ilm, your amal is being made easy, and with amal, your Jannat is being made easy. And number two, easing the path towards Jannah means that on the day of Qiyamah, the ulama will have very soft reckoning. No harsh, no severe hisab kitab. Soft hisab kitab. Quickly, go. Pass. Chalo. Hazrat Imam Muhammad ibn al-Hasan al-Shaybani rahmatullahi alayhi, the great student of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, passed away. Someone saw him in a dream after a few days, asked him, how are you, what happened, how did you fare in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And he replied, I was presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked me, Muhammad, maan kya mangta hai? Ask, what do you want, I will give you. So Imam Muhammad was Imam Muhammad. He wrote many books. He used to keep studying. At night he would be busy in studying. When he would feel sleepy, he would have a bowl of water in front of him. He would dip his hand in there and wipe the water over his face, and he would keep studying and writing. Someone asked him, why do you keep studying at night as well? Go to sleep. And he replied, the old ladies in the corners of Iraq have a peaceful sleep, relying upon me and trusting me. That if we have a tricky situation, we will go to Muhammad ibn al-Hasan and ask him, and he will provide solution for us. So if I was also going to sleep, then what is the difference between me and that old lady? I have to stay awake and keep studying, so that when some situation comes, I don't have to say, I don't have to scratch my head, I'll look it up and I'll tell you later. No, I have to have the solution there and then. So he used to study, and he used to study well, and he wrote many kitabs, and he spent his whole life in studying and teaching. Imam Shafi'i Rahmatullahi came to study with him, and Imam Muhammad was very generous. He gave him many books. Take all these kitabs. Imam Shafi'i Rahmatullahi said, "Hamaltu min Muhammad ibn al-Hasan wiqrayhin laba'idin." That I carried from Imam Muhammad so many books. The bags were filled. 2 camel loads of books were taken by me from Imam Muhammad. So Imam Muhammad was very generous in passing on the knowledge. So he studied, he taught, extremely intelligent person. His intelligence. He became Hafiz in just 7 days. 7 days he became Hafiz of the Quran. The story is there. Imam Muhammad was a young boy. He came to Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah to study. And Imam Abu Hanifa saw that this child is intelligent. He asked him, "Beta, are you Hafiz?" He said, "No, I'm not Hafiz." "Well, we are sorry, then you can't sit in this gathering, because this is a special gathering. Over here in this gathering, we discuss masail and we give references of ayat. Now if we discuss some masala and we give reference of Qurani ayat, and you are not Hafiz, you won't understand what we're talking about. So you have to be a Hafiz to stay in this special gathering." He used to have 2 gatherings. One khas and one aam. One for the general public and the other for the special fuqaha. 40 fuqaha who would stay in that gathering and discuss masail, and the final natija and conclusion would be noted down by Imam Yusuf, Imam Zufar, or whoever was present. So he said, "You have to be Hafiz to sit in gathering." And he said, "No problem." Imam Muhammad went away, and after 1 week he comes back, and Imam Abu Hanifa said, "I told you have to be Hafiz to sit in here. I am Hafiz, alhamdulillah. In 7 days, yes, I memorized the Quran in 7 days. 7 days he memorized the whole Quran." And then he started sitting in Imam Abu Hanifa's gathering, and he took the special attention of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah. And this is why when Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah passed away, if I believe correctly, Mawlana Sahib, correct me, Imam Muhammad was only 14 years old. He was only 14 years old. But within that brief period, he learned so much from Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah. And then he completed his studies with Qazi Abu Yusuf rahmatullah. This is why Qazi Abu Yusuf and Imam Abu Hanifa are given the title of Shaykhain, because they are both Shaykh of Imam Muhammad ibn Hasan al-Shaybani rahmatullah. So Imam Muhammad rahmatullah is seen in a dream after his death, and he is asked, "How did Allah deal with you?" And he said, "Allah forgave me. I was presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah asked me, 'Oh Muhammad, maan kya mangta hai? Ask, I will give you.' And I said, 'Oh Allah, please forgive me.' And Allah said, 'Oh Muhammad, I gave you this ilm of deen because I wanted to forgive you. Ask for something else. You're forgiven, maghfirat is already given. Maghfirat is done for you. You ask for something else.' This is the meaning of Sahalallahu lahu bihi tariqan ila al-Jannah. Your pathway to Jannah is made easy for you. So these are some of the virtues of acquiring ilm, many other virtues. So I think I have taken too much of your time. I will just explain one hadith which I recited in the khutbah in the beginning, and then finish off. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli Muslim." Acquiring knowledge is compulsory upon every Muslim.
Allah is the creator of heaven and of earth. Nothing makes best of humankind, sent to all nations and all tribes. Last of all Muhammad, mercy to the world.